Yo, I did not expect us to get the chapter this early. Now I heard it was game changing. I didn't think it was this game changing. What is up, YouTube? It is your boy Dougie D Fresh, back at it again with another One Piece video. Let's just get into it, man. Let's get into this chapter. Make sure before we get into it, actually, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment after the video. Let's just, just sit here, listen to my calm voice, listen to this experience, and let's talk about this chapter, man. Something I've been curious about for a while is, where's Caribou? Did they bring him along? And come to find out, they did bring Caribou, which makes sense because Luffy keeps his promises. Luffy's not the type of person to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this for you, and then not do it. So he kept his promise. Caribou is in the barrel again, and he's also chained up, so there's no way for him to escape. But hey, man, if they're truly going to where I hope they're going, which we'll get into a little bit later, then I'm curious to see what his role is going to be and how he's going to get away from this, because we've already got a Caribou cover story. I mean, I guess Oda could run it back if he wants to, but I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I'm just curious to see what happens with him, where he goes, how he escapes the Straw Hats, because he can't come along with us forever. He's not Nakama. So anyways, second thing I want to get into, Luffy does not believe that Sabo killed Cobra, which makes sense. This was something that I thought would happen because Luffy knows his brother. He knows that Sabo's not on that type of timing. Like, Sabo's not that type of guy. So it makes sense that Luffy wouldn't believe it. And we even get confirmed that Sabo didn't do it, which I knew he didn't. Again, get into that later. But the main thing I wanted to talk about is Zoro putting down that second in command, that right-hand man, Wisdom. Now, I'm not calling Zoro the vice captain. That's a whole nother discussion. Argue with Oda. But Zoro consistently has good advice for Luffy, and he's always looking out for Luffy's best interest. And he said, hey, man, I know you want to deal with this now, but what did you say back then with Ace? You said let Ace have his own adventure. Let Sabo do the same. I feel Zoro. Sabo's a grown-ass man. He's got Dragon with him. He's got all the revolutionaries to help him deal with what's going on. So Luffy just needs to focus on his adventure, getting to the last road poneglyph or lode poneglyph, whatever you want to call it. But this will lead into the third topic. So Robin is sitting there reading the newspaper, talking about, man, the world has gotten crazy since we've been in Wano, which from the last couple of chapters we all know is very true. And Robin says there's some big names here in the news. Now, the only names we know of is Crocodile, Mihawk, and Buggy, Boa, Blackbeard, and Kobe. And Robin already told Luffy about Buggy. He knows about that. It doesn't seem like he knows about the Blackbeard situation, because I feel like he'd be saying something about that. Yeah. I guess it makes sense, because I don't know if Robin knows that Luffy has that connection to Boa or Kobe, because the Straw Hats do not talk, which is something I believe. And again, we'll get into later. I have another point about that. But I'm just curious as to why Robin wouldn't tell Luffy about Blackbeard and Kobe and all that going on. And I want to know how Luffy would react to that. I feel like Zoro would tell him the same thing. Kobe, let Kobe deal with that. Which, I kind of agree with. Kobe's with the Marines. He's with Sword, which they don't know about. But Kobe has his own people looking out for him. Like I said, the Straw Hats have their own adventure they need to focus on. But I'm just curious as to if there's any other news. Like, did Weevil go to Sphinx Island, which is what I think happened? Did something happen with Doflamingo? Did what happened with Moria? Like, is there more stuff that we still don't know? Because I don't know. The way Robin presented it, it could just be like Oda being like, okay, you guys know what's going on, but Luffy doesn't know. But I don't know. The way she said, like, and then again, this is not the official, but the way she said, like, oh, there's some big names in here. I don't know. It just kind of sparked my curiosity. Let me know what you guys think about that. And how you think Luffy would react to the Kobe news. So, Luffy's Dream. That is the title of the chapter. That is discussed in this chapter. Unfortunately, we still do not know what it is, but we get the Straw Hats reactions to it, which was interesting. And Oda just keeps teasing us. And the reason why I say the Straw Hats don't talk, and it's even more confirmed in this chapter, is because Luffy's talking about some oh, I haven't told you guys this before. Like, he's like, oh, I thought I told you guys, I guess not. Like, bro, do y'all talk about anything? What do y'all talk about while you're on the ship? Like, I guess that's just a small oversight that Luffy made, but it seems like this dream is pretty big. People are theorizing that maybe it's to have the biggest party in the world, and we also find out that Shanks knows about this dream, and he actually cried when Luffy told him. We don't know if this is before or after the Gomu Gomu no Mi. I assume it's before, actually, because if I'm remembering correctly in chapter 1, after that whole incident with Higuma, either the Shanks pirates never came back to Windmill Village, or they only went back one time. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. So I'm thinking it might have been before that. But man, like, what is Luffy's dream? Are you guys on board with the biggest party in the world theory? I'm kind of leaning towards that because it sounds something so ridiculous and Luffy-like. But he also says he has to be king of the pirates to do it, which I guess would apply for having a big party. I'm just trying to rack my brain for like the most Luffy thing I could think of that Oda wants to hide from us. And I don't know, because I feel like Roger probably had a similar moment with his crew, told them that. That's why Shanks knows. And then Shanks said the same thing to Luffy, or Shanks said the same thing to Luffy. Luffy said the same thing or something similar to Shanks, and that's why Shanks cried. And, he puts his full faith in Luffy and bet his left arm on Luffy. So, I'm just curious to know, what is this dream? And Oda, like, every time you give us something, you're still like, there's still a little mystery, Like, man, we're in the final saga. Stop playing with me, please. But I just need to be patient. In due time, all will be revealed. Now, this is just a minor thing before we get into the really big thing of the chapter. But it seemed like the people of the Leloucia Kingdom didn't want to kill their king, which is interesting because they looks like they roughed him up, they threw him in prison, but they're saying, hey man, just confess to your crimes, like, we don't want to kill you. Which is interesting to me because they're mad enough to rebel and overthrow their king after Koba's death, but they're not mad enough to kill him, which just means, these politics and how these people are treated, it runs a little deeper than just like, oh, we don't like the king, hail the Flame Emperor, kill the king, get him out of here. I guess things just run a little deeper than we thought, because I don't know, the way they presented it, I thought all hell was breaking loose. Like, it was killing their kings, it was anarchy, all types of stuff, hail the Flame Emperor. But you know what, I guess not. I'm a little curious with that, just because, it ties in with the revolutionaries, and I'm trying to see more from the revs, like what's going on with them. Anyways, man, let's get into the biggest, meatiest, game-changingest part of the chapter. Uranus was revealed in this chapter. Now, I know some people honestly, I think most people would agree with me. I feel like this is very clearly Uranus. Like, we don't get to see it, but it's light that comes out of the sky and eviscerates a whole island. What could do that besides an ancient weapon? Like, come on now. Also, I don't think Sabo's dead. Either he just survived because One Piece, that's just be happening in One Piece, or he wasn't actually on the island. I don't know. Either way, Sabo's alive. He's not dead. Oda would not just kill Sabo like that. Ain't happening. He's Ace's replacement. He's not going out like that. It has to be Uranus, right? There's no way it can be Uranus. And how does it work? How did it get all the way to the Leloucia Kingdom? Did Imu command it to do so? Which I believe he did, or she, or whatever Imu is. How do they control it? Is it telepathic? Can it teleport? Is it just a big flying thing? Like, bro, we know that Poseidon is the ability to talk to sea kings. Very dangerous power. We know Pluton is a ship. Some people think it might not be a ship, but I think it is a ship that has the power to destroy islands. But just seeing an ancient weapon do its thing was crazy. It was so casual. The fact that the Gorosei are just like, as far as everyone else is concerned, the Leloucia Kingdom never existed. As far as the communication division is concerned, nothing out of the ordinary happened. I believe that Uranus is obviously used for the Great Cleansings, and the way the Great Cleansings work is they call on Uranus, it destroys something, and they just act like nothing happened. They're just like, oh, the Leloucia Kingdom, what's that? I don't know what that is. They don't put it in the history books. They don't put it on maps. They might recall maps that had it. I don't know how far they're willing to go. Just witnessing what I assume is like maybe just a piece of a great cleansing, and just seeing Uranus, because I'm just gonna call it Uranus because I just feel like it's very obviously Uranus. This was very game changing. It is very scary for the future moving forward. So that's all I have to say about that for now. Might make a video on it, stay tuned. But let's just move on to the tail end of this chapter. The Straw Hats entering a winter climate near an island. Now, I assumed that they were going to Elbaf. Well, first I thought they were going to Sphinx because of this little map that came out. If you guys know about that, it's like showed some islands and where they are in Wano, or not in Wano, like from Wano, and where Kid, Law, and Luffy should be going. I believe it was Sphinx Island, Elbaf, and Hachinosu, aka Full of Lead, aka Beehive, aka Pirate Island. So I don't know, given the cold climate, I feel like they're going to Elbaf because, you know, Elbaf, Vikings, all that stuff, you know, might be modeled off of Iceland or something. I think Iceland is cold. Is it one of them's Iceland is? I don't know. Anyways, I'm thinking of like Iceland and Greenland, but I don't know. I think Iceland's actually cold, or maybe it's not. But either way, you know, maybe the Elbaf actually does have a winter climate, or it's just winter time over there. Anyways, I still think they're going to Elbaf. But given that Bonnie was shown this chapter, maybe they're going to Sorbet. But I don't think so, because like, what is there to do Sorbet Kingdom? Then again, I don't know. I've never been to Sorbet Kingdom, but I still think they're going to Elbaf, and it might just have a winter climate. But yeah, the last couple things I'm going to talk about was Zoro just casually using Enma. That was cool to see. Looks like he's got a lot better handle on it. And Bonnie being introduced at the end of this chapter. I've mostly just been interested in Bonnie since the Reverie, because the whole Queen Connie, her connection to Kuma, what is going on with Sorbet Kingdom. Her Devil Fruit too seems pretty interesting, but I've never been interested in her as like a combatant, so I don't expect much from her in that sense. But I'm just interested to see, why is she being introduced now? What role is she going to play in the Elbaf part? Is that, if that is indeed where they're going, or what role is she going to play in general? What information does she have? Maybe she talked to Kuma, she'll tell the Straw Hats about it, something. But you know what, I'm glad that she was introduced, because I believe her and Rouge, whatever you want to call them, they're the only two supernovas who haven't gotten like real focus in the story, because I'm pretty sure everyone else has. So just those two left. Curious to see if Rouge will be in this arc too. That's all I got for now, man. This chapter was definitely game changing. I'm glad I stayed off Twitter. Did not get spoiled when you're completely blind. Anyways, make sure to like and subscribe, man. Leave a comment on everything that was said in this chapter. Do you think Uranus was revealed slightly in this chapter? Do you think it's not Uranus? What do you think it is? It is being your boy Dougie D Fresh, and I'm out. Peace.